I mean, wow, wow, wow. So much can be said about Pacers Bucks. Tony East here, covering the Pacers for Forbes and Locked On Pacers. I'm still in Gainbridge Fieldhouse where Tyrese Haliburton just was a superhero. I mean, an unbelievable finish, a game the Pacers needed. You know, Rick Carlisle said before the game, it was obvious what it was at stake for the Pacers. The playoff chase is close. The Bucks would clinch the tiebreaker with a win. Pacers were playing poor coming into this, and all of a sudden, things looked dire. They were down 3 with under 10 seconds to go. They couldn't close against the Bucks in December. It felt like a repeat of that, and all of a sudden, none of that mattered. The Pacers ran their favorite play in a game when they need a 3. They ran it against the Celtics in the playoffs. They've run it a few times since. It looks like a football play. Tyrese Haliburton wiggles across the court right in front of the inbounding Andrew Nembhard. Gets just enough space to be open for a 3. Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's guarding Miles Turner, runs out to contest it because otherwise Tyrese Haliburton would have been wide open. And he fouls him, and Haliburton hits it. He hits the free throw, and the Pacers' escape is a stretch. They played well, but given that they were down 3 in the final seconds, to win in that way, just unbelievable. One of the greatest regular season games I've seen in this building, to have it end that way in that kind of fashion. And what a moment for Tyrese Haliburton, right? Who the 2 signature shots of his career to me have been on that basket right behind me and against the Bucks. The floater last year in Game 3 where he was also fouled in overtime against Milwaukee, a game the Pacers ended up winning that guided their series victory. And now this 3, I mean, he's had some other great ones in Miami and many other places, but this one, I mean, just given the stakes of the game, the moment, the fact that he was returning from injury, that all added to it and made it just feel incredible for a second. And to see at the same time this was all happening, there was a long review to see if it was truly a defensive foul on Giannis. And Haliburton's dad runs over and gives Reggie Miller a high five during that moment, and that adds it to it too. Reggie Miller is here, someone who's had dozens of those moments in this very building, and well, in this city, I suppose, maybe not this very building. And you know, they have a relationship, Reggie Miller and Tyrese Haliburton do, and that is one of the defining shots of Haliburton's career to this point against his hometown team as well. Milwaukee for a Wisconsin kid. An unbelievable shot from a player who needed it and a team that needed it, right? Haliburton missed the last 3 games with an injury. He was playing okay. His passing was very good. The assist numbers won't do it justice because there's a lot of missed open shots from the Pacers. He only had 10 points at the time, so he had a double-double already. But, you know, his impact was felt in that the Bucks were stressed about him defensively, but not statistically. But that cements it as an unbelievable game, and on national TV as well, and keeps the Pacers' hopes of getting the Bucks tiebreaker alive, which is important for home court. I mean, just an unbelievable moment for the Pacers. It's their only home game in like a 2-week stretch. You could just keep going down the list of reasons that it's a major, major shot. And to have it happen in that moment when it felt very dire and the Pacers weren't closing well and had all sorts of problems, it was incredible. It was just incredible. And a game the Pacers really needed, right? They lost their last 3 on the road. They had a terrible, disheartening loss to the Bulls Monday night, the night before this game. Haliburton didn't play in any of those, but that wasn't really their issues, right? They still looked disconnected. Their chemistry wasn't there. The defense was dreadful. I wrote about their defense earlier in the day. In this game, their defense was better. Haliburton was good enough, and just a vibes-needed win, right? If you lose 4 in a row in the thick of a playoff race, you lose your tiebreaker to the Bucks, and all of a sudden things feel dire, you know, who knows where this turns. For the Pacers, instead, they win, and their losing streak, I believe, passed or kept up with the Bucks in the standings. I mean, 4, 5, 6 with Milwaukee and Detroit is all very close. I'm out of words to say. I mean, hearing everybody talk about it after the game was just incredible to see, and the Pacers get it done. And it was an amazing shot. I don't know how he got it off. He probably couldn't see the rim with Giannis in his way. I don't know how he made it. The free throw, very clutch as well. Pacers get a stop on the final. Bucks play a lot of good stuff in the last 10 seconds, which makes up for a dreadful last 10 seconds in Atlanta on Saturday. You steal one, clutch one to balance things out. Unbelievable game. I spent 5 minutes talking about one shot, one moment, one instance. A lot of good stuff for the Pacers in general. Pascal Siakam is this team's vocal leader, I would say, or at least when we can see him. and the team. And I remember asking him in Atlanta, he is, again, a leader. What does he say? Well, how does he rally the troops after two kind of tough losses to a team they feel like they're better than and they're not playing particularly well? And he talked about just got to keep going. Today he said you got to push through the storm. They really pushed through the storm to do this, to get this win, as needed as it gets. And Siakam led by example by being the best Pacers player for much of the game. We've seen this story with the Bucks before. They just kind of cross-match or get funky with how they defend Siakam, and Brook Lopez was great, don't get me wrong, and Giannis was 3 assists away from an insane triple-double, and he was plus 10, and Kuzma did actually some okay stuff, but it didn't feel like they had the right matchups on Siakam. 10 for 15, he had 3 threes. He had a double-double, 16 and 10 by halftime. 25 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists for Pascal Siakam, plus 9. He was quite good. I thought T.J. McConnell was very good, one of his best games in a while. He had 12 points, 7 assists, and 4 steals. He was plus 10, one of the best Pacers bench games that they've had in ages. If this Pacers bench, or even 3/4 of it, showed up last Thursday, the Pacers beat the Hawks then, right? Ben Mathurin was good on both ends. He had 17 points. He was plus 4. Thomas Bryant came alive in the second half, probably his best half since the All-Star break. He had 10 points and 3 boards. He was plus 4. Obi Toppin didn't play very much, but he made a key shot in the second half. The matchups did not dictate him playing very much, but those bench minutes were important. Ben Shepherd had to come into guard Dame every so often. It's just how it shook out, and the bench was good. Andrew Nembhard, it was unfortunate to miss a free throw and 2 threes late, but hadn't missed a shot at all till that point on his way to 12 points. Aaron Nesmith continues to have flashes of brilliance on 2-point shots. Miles Turner came alive early in the fourth quarter as him and Siakam were a dominant front court force that gave the Pacers some key separation for down the stretch. Everyone who played had to chip in something. That's what the Bucks require. They're good. They've been a tough one for the Pacers this season, but they got it all. I think Siakam would have been the story had Haliburton not had to win it on a shot like that. Nembhard had chances to be the story. He missed 2 wide open threes, and again, that free throw that could have tied it late. So much just chaos and craziness in this game, but in the end, the Pacers found a way, and they absolutely needed to. Again, I can't stress enough how important that was for the Pacers. I mean, now with that win, I believe they're tied they're tied with Milwaukee at 36 and 28 for the 4-5, with a game coming against the Bucks on Saturday that could even the season series and push the tiebreaker to something else. The Cavs clinched the Central Division tonight, so it'll come down to, I believe, division or conference record, and it's absolutely crazy how that's shaken out right now. I can't find those tiebreakers. Regardless, huge win for the Pacers, huge moment for Tyrese Haliburton. Special to be able to be in the building and get to cover it. I'll have much more on Locked On Pacers and perhaps a story in Forbes. Thanks all for watching. There's some Fever stuff up here talking to Sophie Cunningham today and Andrew Nembhard after this game if you want to check that out. We'll catch you very soon.